Guests around, can I ask you to introduce, starting from our right? Yes?
I'm Akshay. I'm from Vijayanagar doing first year engineering in MSc.
Hi all, Varun here. We are from Schneider Electric Toastmasters Club. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Chaitanya. I'm from Schneider Electric Toastmasters.
Good evening everyone, I am Divya Prakash from Schneider Electric Toastmasters Club.
I am Gangada and I am a student. This is my fourth meeting.
I am Peter, this is my third meeting.
Hello friends, I'm Kashif and this is my first meeting.
Hi everyone, I'm Sheetal and I'm coming here for the first time.
My name is Chintan and this is my third meeting.
I am Mandeep and this is my third meeting.
Toastmasters, how do we welcome these guests? My dear Deepak Justin, members of the distinguished members of Bangalore Toastmasters Club, and most welcome guests. The theme for today is Now It Is You. This has got a lot of meaning, especially when we are standing in the last meeting of this term. We are about to hand over this baton to the next committee. I take this opportunity to wish good luck to the next committee. But this opportunity I would like to utilize in a better fashion to leave a message to the members of this existing committee. You have been the part of the committee. You took a leadership role, executed it to excellence. It's like a graduate program where you learn the skills and now the graduation has come. The graduation day is here. The thing is, now the Cloud to Bangalore Toastmasters Club, or the experience that you can gain by executing those leadership skills are not there. You are moving into the world. Now it is you alone that moves, not the baggage or the learning skills that you gain from Bangalore Toastmasters. Of course, the learning skills will be there, but it's you alone that's moving to the world. When I talk about this, I remember about a story as narrated by one of my friends. There was a person, an extremely good street fighter. He wanted to learn karate. He went to a coach, learned karate, learned all the skills in karate, and the final day came when he learned the last and final technique in karate as well. He was very happy because he learned all the skills. And as he was walking onto the streets with his umbrella turn, twirling and turning, he found one thing. 4 thugs cornered him from different directions. He had all the skills in his getting the karate skills. But you know how that man turned away and threw away all his thugs? Using his umbrella, his street fighting skills came into usage there. All the karate skills he learned just went in the back of his mind. And that's what happens. You have learned a new skill by being the member of the committee of Bangalore Toastmasters. But will you be able to apply that skill in your real life? When you leave alone, when it's you alone, can you apply that skill in the real life? With that simple thought, I would love to give the lecture to a person. I love this person, especially for this reason. Whenever he introduces himself, he says, I am a member of Bangalore Toastmasters and also the founder member of Suvan Club. He has achieved many things in Toastmasters, but still today, he loves to introduce himself by saying he is a member of Bangalore Toastmasters Club. He is a guest faculty at IIM. He is being trained in Princeton University in Arizona in different programs. And he is called the Humor King. Initially, he was called the Humor King of Bangalore Toastmasters. Now, in fact, the time has come to call him the Humor King of India itself. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together to welcome Chandari Kumar on stage.
Thank you, Mr. President. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, whenever you go to speak in public, apart from 2 or 3 in the front row, you already have an invisible barrier. And now I have a visible barrier. So with your permission, I'd like to step up and be here so that I can talk. Am I audible to the last one?
Yes.
Yes? Great. When Jindo asked me to be the MC, I asked him why me? He said, CK, you're a natural choice. I was so elated. Imagine such a compliment coming from such an accomplished person like Jindo. And then he followed this with a definition. He said, an MC has to be so infernally dull that the succeeding speakers appear brighter by comparison. And what he said after that was something too much. He said, CK, you don't have to make an effort to be dull. You're such a natural. And Jindo calls himself a friend of mine. But then, I'm sure he didn't mean it, but I know he's such a good friend and he's led this club so well. So thank you, Jindo, for this wonderful opportunity to be back in Bangalore Toastmasters. I see many of the guests here, so just to explain the concept of Toastmasters, it's got nothing to do with bread, toast or wine. Way back in 1900s, Dr. Ralph C. Smedley, who was the secretary of the YMCA, felt that when somebody threw a party, it was customary to raise a toast. And he found that toasts were being raised in a very, very listless, dry manner. So he gathered a couple of his friends and formed a small gathering merely to raise toasts in an interesting manner. People liked the idea and that grew to be a public speaking organization. But please remember, whenever he got transferred out of the YMCA branch, this Toastmasters died a natural death. And this went on for 24 years. And finally in 1924 in a basement in Santa Ana, the first formal club of Toastmasters was born, giving rise to the saying, it takes 20 years to make an overnight success. So that's the story behind Toastmasters, and today it's a huge organization helping so many people in. Please note, the guests, this is not necessarily a movement for accomplished speakers, but this provides an excellent forum for anybody who says, I am shy, I am diffident, I am not able to meet an audience in my workplace, and Toastmasters provides a forum and says, it's you to take charge. So that is the premise of Toastmasters, and what typically happens in a Toastmasters session is very well structured. The moment you join a Toastmasters club, you are given a mentor, and the first session is a prepared speech session, which you are going to witness in a short while from now. You prepare with the help of a mentor and come and give your speeches. The second session is a table topic session where topics are thrown at you and you're supposed to respond without preparation. I was introduced once in Bangalore Toastmasters as CK is the only speaker in the club who can speak without thinking. What they meant was a preparation. And then some people think that the former was also true. You are expected to speak without preparation, and you're going to, what is in store for us today is there is an expert who's going to tell us how to actually be spontaneous. In fact, one of his famous phrases is, he comes from a theatre background and he says, I get sometimes foxed when my dramatic teacher tells me act natural. How do I do that? Nobody, that is your famous one. Anyway, we'll talk more about him a bit later. And the third and the most important session, that's where I think the greatest takeaway from anybody is somebody gives you feedback. They show a mirror and say, this is what you did. There are many organizations like the Rotaries, the JCs and the Lions Club which give you an opportunity to speak, but Toastmasters, as far as I know, is the only organization which gives you feedback. So this is the structure of this entire meeting, and the person who gives the feedback is called as the general evaluator. To introduce him, I'm going to talk more about him later, but normally they say, watch this space. Similarly, watch this person. It's just a question of time where he's going to represent not just our club, he's going to represent India and come out with sterling honors in the World Championship of Public Speaking. Such an amazing, natural speaker We'll talk more about him, but please help me welcome the general evaluator, Anmol Kaur.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening. Good evening. My role as a general evaluator is to take note of the proceedings, to look at areas where we can improve, and I will present my report at the end of this session. And to help me do the same, I have a list of 3 assignees. In the form of the timekeeper, I have Baswaraj. Baswaraj, can you please introduce to us your role?
Hi, in today's role, I will be keeping the time. So the last but 2 minutes, I'll be showing a green card. In the last but 1 minute, I'll be showing a orange card, and in the last minute, when the last minute is over, I'll be showing the red card.
Thank you, Baswaraj. In the form of our counter, we have Srihari.
Good evening, everyone. So my role today is of an hour counter. So I shall be keeping account of the number of hours, short pauses, long pauses, and restrictions, and also use of crutch words like so. Thank you.
Thank you, Srihari. The grammarian of the day is Vikya.
As the grammarian of the day, my task would be to note the proficient and the poor usages of grammar and to provide a correction of the same during the evaluation session. I would also encourage you to use the word of the day, that's abash, which means to disconcert or embarrass. And a typical usage of abash, for using abash, I'm taking a quote from the English poet John Milton. Abashed the devil stood and felt how awful goodness is, and saw virtue in her shape, how lovely. Back to you.
Thank you. Can you explain what that meant? That's why she said grammarian.
Thank you, Anmol. I was quite unabashed when Jindo gave me that gag on my dullness, because you don't have to be ashamed of talking the truth, right? Right, now let's start with the first session, that is the prepared speech session. Now when I asked the general evaluator for an introduction, and I asked him about his views on the theme, he came up with the idea and he said, why do you have to call it as now it's you? Always it's you. Every time, it depends on what you do. Please remember, it takes you to argue. You remember, you take you from argue, you can't pronounce that. It takes you to communicate. And it takes you to have some humor. So he said, why should we talk about all that? But then when you come to the icebreaker, I think this theme is excellent because there are 3 speakers who joined this club maybe a month or 2 months ago. And now, the VP Education says, now it's you to come and introduce yourself. And the icebreaker is such a wonderful formality in Toastmasters where we are not looking at verbal dazzle or some kind of a language, but we are only looking at people who can come and get rid of their shyness and diffidence. We are going to have 3 people come and do that now. And before we start to explain the objectives of the icebreaker, can I request the evaluator of the first speaker, Mr. Sanjay, to please read out the guidelines, please.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies. So the objectives of the Icebreaker project are to begin speaking before an audience, to discover speaking skills you already have and skills that need some attention. Timekeeper, please note, the time is 4 to 6 minutes. Over to you.
If anybody wants to take up an MC's role, please choose an assignment when there are enough icebreakers. Your job is minimal because the icebreakers have to introduce themselves. So you just have to mention their name clearly. For heaven's sake, please pronounce their name clearly. Don't mess up on that's the least you can do, right? So let's all welcome the first speaker for the day, Mohiti.
3 months back, when we were watching a live coverage of destruction of Japan, the only thought that kept swaying our mind was, lucky are those who survive. I not only feel how lucky those survivors at Japan were, but also how lucky I am. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmaster and dear guest, 34 years ago, year 1977, Andhra Pradesh and few neighboring states affected by one of worst cyclone storm hits to the Indian shores ever. The government records that loss of 50,000 human lives and financial loss of $500 million. I happen to be one of those few lucky survivors of the village of Siripuram in Guntur district of Andhra Pradesh. Just as the coverage of Japan earthquakes, you must have seen the interviews of many successful personalities on the TV, where I hear many of them say, for reaching the desired goal in your life, 3 factors play a key role. Those are 1. Self-awareness and hard work, 2nd, proper guidance, and 3rd, a bit of luck. My success in a life, no exception to this rule. And let me tell you how all these 3 factors shaped me as a person. I was born in a 7-member family whose main source of income was reap paddy, cotton and mirchi crop from the 2 acres of land. It was my realization about my capabilities and my intense zeal for the education that has helped me sit in a manager's chair in MNC like Sun Microsystems, from a simple village boy sitting and dreaming besides the paddy fields. Going with the tradition of my village, I supposed to be settled as a teacher after clearing my BSc BEd. Trust me, I did not have any idea about engineering studies. All that I knew was such a costly ventures never to be explored. Meanwhile, I met a person who happens to be no less than saint in my life. The zoology lecturer Kudu sir, who came to our village, probably guide the enthusiastic young boys like me toward the quest for the life through education. That's when I realized about the value of proper guidance. As it just goes, good time and good people never last. Year 1994, I took an admission in BSc Computers. Kudu sir expired, leaving me as amazed as child who just recovering from shocking of seeing shooting star for the first time. I went to complete my masters in computers, and I was very close to dream of my enclosed cubicle of an MNC. But God had the other plans for me. Influenced by the political zeal of my father, I took a role of personal assistant of social welfare minister of TDP party. Just I was relishing the bit of taste of real India, the 3rd factors affected my life, causing it to take a U-turn. The day my lecturer Kudu sir expired, I had seen this girl sitting in the corner of one room and preparing for her 10th class exams. One fine day, the same girl called me and advised me to change the track of my life. Whenever I remember this day as well, a bit of luck favored me. This girl Asifa, Kudu sir's daughter, who is currently employee of Infosys Technologies and my beloved wife. With immense pleasure, let me tell you, we have 3-year-old boy who is going to English medium school from his age of 1.5 years in his educational journey. No, our journey doesn't end there. Unlike a Hindi movie, the girl and boy married and lived happily ever after. Me, Asifa and my friends found an educational welfare society through which we collect the funds and financially support the budding talent of Siripuram. We also provide the career guidance to them. As I truly believe that it is not only important to grow up as a good human being and cherish thrilling journey of life, but also contribute toward the blooming of many more beautiful lives who would enjoy equally thrilling journey on this training earth. Over to you, Toastmaster.
By such stories which comes straight from the heart. but my admiration for him goes multifold when he said, after 3 years of marriage, he still has immense pleasure. You really deserve the award, Jen. Thank you for reciting us that tale. The next icebreaker is going to be evaluated by the most glamorous grandmom that I know. There is such Chinnappa, although she doesn't look like a grandmother. Since the guidelines have already been read out, I just wanted to introduce the evaluator to you. So I will now invite the next speaker. Once again, icebreaker. All that I'm allowed to say is her name is Richa and she's a girl. Please welcome Richa.